Now, I said that I wasn't going to make any more videos unless I do it outside. Went outside, made a really long video, probably about more than an hour's worth. Was going to be a real big deal, but I'm experiencing some really weird shit. To make it short, my computer wouldn't work and kept saying that I didn't have an operating system. Would not turn on and told me that message more than 6 times. I eventually was able to get going with an operating system. Then I go and try and videotape this and the files wouldn't save. Lots of shit going on with my technology not working. And there's massive ringing in my ears. So I'd kind of like to be a little heard because it might be a little relevant. DutchSinse and Patriotic Space, this is a response to you guys. Attacks on the rise, target DutchSinse, what the fuck, you know, and pretty negative video. There's a lot of negative shit going on right now. Part of what I was going to put up was some of the shit that I'm dealing with, which is really weird. And we got to know what the hell is going on. And right now, the planets are aligning. We know that for a fact. There's a good chance we're inside a black hole right now, and we won't even know it because we're not outside that box. But it sure looks like we're being torn apart right now. Our brains aren't exactly thinking too good. And I know that there's some communication issues. Part of the challenge is when you're putting out such good theories, a lot of the traffic starts going up. And it's really, really hard to respond to everybody. It's really, really hard to examine everybody else's theories at the same time. So there's a lot of confusion, a lot of misunderstanding. You know, we're torn apart when it's like, people, we need to come together, you know, and do something positive, not something negative, and pulling ourselves away in the negative energy. Trust, without a doubt, it ain't gonna work. You ain't gonna figure out what the hell is going on. So all the kids in this little game, wake up, mother's talking. Y'all better get along. Now, as far as the book, Angels Don't Play That Harp, guess who else is the author of that book? Because I happen to have met her. Her name is Jean Manning. I have her card someplace. So I know what she's talking about recently, and she's the author of that book. So I may know a little bit about a few things. Was doing really, really good, but today's shit led me to buy another pack of cigarettes, which is, naturally, I'm not doing the right thing when I get angry. Guess what? Every single one of us are going to do the wrong thing if you get angry. So if we're all going to come together about this, we need to look at our psychology, because our psychology is all fucked up right now. We don't know what the right thing to do is. Now, I fully understand blocking. I do a lot of blocking myself. Why? Because I don't know how to handle negative energy all that well. I know how it's done, but have I mastered the skill? Hell no. I'm fucking smoking today. But the deal is if you want to find truth, you got to be in a peaceful, loving state of being, and then you ask the information field, how do I respond? You know, chances are when somebody comes at you with a negative video, if you look in the global picture of what really goes on with reality, somebody's trying to grab your attention. You know, so somebody that takes the time to say, I've debunked you, is really looking at your theory and giving their own theory. And their theory goes against the other, so it's like calling you out because you didn't pay attention. You didn't grab the attention to the conversation that needed to be held. Now, if while we're having a conversation about the facts, here's some cold hard facts for everybody. Every single thing you happen to believe to be true turns out to be completely false. So while you think you're going to find truth with the mindset that everything's wrong, you ain't going to ever see the truth. Now, We're going to look at all of this technology. Every single ounce of this technology. Oh, who would be owning that shit? I suggest there's a rich person that's involved with everything. All of technology, I mean, even this computer and taking my hard drive off, not a hard thing to do for Bill Gates. If, you know, this rich guy that wants to wipe off the planet, he has the ability to shut my computer down. And I don't think I got a virus or something. But it could be just computers breaking down. But when all my technology breaks down, I don't even know if this video will get up. But I'm mad as hell. And I could be madder than evil. And evil energy tells me do or die. So I know damn well evil wants the power to be able to tell the truth and say it like it is, and eventually, because it's driven by goodness, you know, you got to be loving, you got to be in a peaceful state of mind to know what the right thing is to do. Guess what? Had a conversation with my really peaceful, loving son, who's finally waking up and has a hell of a lot of shit to offer. Taught me the best thing, so I'm kind of in a loving state. Clearly not loving myself, so my information may be a little off, but I'm pretty sure I'm closer than anybody, because I don't think anybody's got quite the massive heart that I've got. And anybody that's doing any of these videos that's talking about this shit and getting pissed off, guess what you're pissed off about? Not knowing the truth. And you know, don't take it out on everybody else that doesn't know the truth. So we all got to get along. In my own family unit, I wish everybody would be peaceful and sit to a peace table, because you know what? We'll find out what truth is. Right now, every person on this planet has a different perspective. Everybody has a different belief system. You know, we don't know how the fuck to get along, let alone how to communicate. That's why we don't have peace tables. That's why we've got war going on. That's why we can't talk to these evil people that are trying to destroy the whole friggin' planet, the corporate world. Oh, by the way, guess what a corporation is in the first place? It's where you don't have to be responsible, accountable. If you got a little business going on and you don't want to pay your income tax and you don't want to be financially responsible for any harm you do to the planet, start a corporation. And then if you get sued, just claim bankruptcy, open up the company in a different name. So, you know what? We've all fallen into, if we get a good idea, we'll get incorporated. Even I have fallen for that one. So it's like we're all fucking up. We all got to forgive each other because we've all screwed up, and we all need to know how to sit down at a peace table. When somebody's speaking up loudly, that's because you haven't gotten their attention. Oh, big politicians, you know, that may think that I know shit. When somebody's complaining and complaining loudly, you need to wake up. Otherwise, you're basically killing your own friggin' kids and you don't know it. And you're doing it with these corporate worlds that don't give a shit. And guess what? They happen to work through all of these agencies that make sure everything is safe. And they're individual people that are involved with this. You know, they're taking bribes. You know, the corporation sets up rules and tells you, the employee, how to behave. If you don't behave properly, you lose your job. Every single job on the planet right now is involved with something that ain't right. But you got to, because you got to pay your bills. You got to feed your families. So the change and the shift that needs to be taken needs to be somewhat of a gradual shift. We need to be opening up new perspectives, new ideas, you know, that actually heal everybody individually. You know, all of these big, huge elite guys, there's only a few of them at the top. It's us people at the bottom that need to get along. Now, I suggest if anybody's got anything to say about my channel and don't want me blocking and delete you, I'm willing to have the conversation. Hell, I tried. But you know what? Sometimes I end up putting in 5 hours trying to have a conversation with somebody else that's totally closed-minded and just wants me to call me a whore and a bitch and a stupid cunt and, you know, like, block and delete. You got to sort of censor yourselves right now. And hell knows I ain't good at it either. You know, don't look for perfection here. I could be wrong about a lot of shit. See, that's another thing you got to understand. Every one of us are geniuses. We're really fucking smart people. But you're going to go into insanity if you think you know it all. If you are right about everything while we're living in a world that is completely false, there's nothing true, then you got a little bit of insanity going on. The only way you find truth is where you find out everybody's truth and you get rid of every single friggin' contradiction, and then, poof, like magic, truth will come out. So we all got to talk to each other. We all got to be able to pay attention to what's a contradiction, because evil can't do anything until you're 90% in agreement with it, and then it'll get you on the 10% lie. So every single one of us has a 90% chance of being true and 10% being false about something. So a genius, a true fucking genius, which I try to be at all times, because if we're going to know how the fuck to get out of this, you better be smart about it. You better do your homework. You better know what the fuck you're talking about. Otherwise, these evil people that are calling you names and debunking all your shit, they might actually make more sense than you. So if you want to be a real genius, you got to outwit, outsmart, outplay evil. You know, all those people that are evil, calling you names, you know, angry people. As long as we got angry showing up in any of your videos, the slightest energy of negative, you got evil going on. Guess what? There's some evil in this because I'm pissed off. Ain't having a good day, but I'm doing it out of love, so it's like a mom scolding her kids. Take it for what it's worth. But knowing the genius too is, for me, I have to admit I'm wrong. Constantly. And it's like when I make a video, I'm looking at how wrong I am, and I was angry right there, and as soon as I became aware of how angry I am, I know I'm not connected with source. I'm not connected with that information field. As long as I'm smoking, I know I've got 10% bullshit. So it's like whoever's got those hate channels on me, it's like, yeah, I don't know how to talk with evil yet, otherwise I'd be sitting at a peace table with my own family. You know, but I know what to say when I'm in there, and I know what we all should be doing, but I'm in the problem. And I'm in the problem with humanity too, so I'm going to get affected with negative energy. The closer you do get to a loving state, happy frame of mind, and you start asking, what is it I need to do? Like after I finish this video, now that I'm in a peaceful calm, it's like I'm going to sit back and say, should this get sent or not? So if I'm in a happy, peaceful mood and I ask those questions and I end up sending this video on upload, you know, then chances are maybe a little bit of truth there. You know, but it is people like anybody who's debunking anything just needs a little bit of time and patience to go through the information. Yes, a lot of these radar things are found in airports. What are they doing to the airports? We're looking at the sun and part of the sun disappears. Oh, guess what? Who owns the equipment that's looking at that sun, and do they have an off and on switch? Can they put something in front of those cameras that are putting it onto the internet? Hell yeah. You know, could there be more planets out there than you know, what NASA and everybody else is telling us about? Hell yeah. And you know, your equipment ain't as good as what NASA is. You know, we're 150 years advanced technology. You think when you go and put in a patent for something, who the hell is looking at your patents? The rich guys that happen to hire people that look at patents. A lot of really good shit says, no, we can't let that out, or no, that's got to belong to the military, you know, nope, this guy's got to get killed. You know, the corporate structure don't care about killing. Yeah, it's been developing that stupid psychopathic behavior since we started corporations, and we all play in that game. So how do you talk with insanity? How do you get people to a peace table when they're really, really fucking angry? Start off with being in a loving, peaceful state. There's a lot of things that are bullshit that we all need to peacefully. That's the whole trick of it all. In the end, that's what's, you know, the negative energy that's going on is the negative energy within us. To understand the inner world, you can see the reflection in the outer world. So whatever's happening inside us is identical to what's happening in the bigness, the universal world. And it appears to me like we're going in a black hole. I think there's a little bit of videos out there. You can do some research, but I would presume that whatever they're saying about a black hole is probably true.